Let's begin the demo. So what exactly is Pega? Pega is basically a platform or an interface where you build applications. So what type of applications? Web applications, maybe like Facebook, or any like you type like google.com, something like that. Web applications which are hosted on the web, or mobile applications. You have most of the mobile apps, right? So we build web apps and mobile apps on Pega. So, but Pega is not a language or a technology or a database. Okay, it's not a language like Java. It's not a database like Oracle. It's not any other technology. It's just a tool. Okay, it's a tool where you build and deploy applications. So what then how was Pega built? Pega was built on Java. So just think that a group of Java developers were building an app or were building a product, and that product is today called as Pega. So the backend of Pega is completely pure Java. Okay, but Pega is a product or a tool where you build applications. But if you dig deep dive into Pega, it's a Java product. Okay, it's completely built on Java. Now, what do you do then? Do you write code? No, you don't write code. So the main motto or the intention of Pega is they want to automate the work. They want to reduce the manual effort. So what you do in Pega is 90% of the times you only use the inbuilt existing controls, functions, methods, and you design your product. You're not going to write the code until and unless it's not available out of the box and you want to customize it, but still you have options. You can reach out to Pega systems and you can ask them, hey, this is not available, can you give me a jar or something? They'll do. If that is not there, you customize it. But max of the times you're not going to customize or write any piece of code. It's completely like drag and drop or using the inbuilt functions, methods, and the APIs and frameworks we are going to build it. Okay. So it's just a platform or a tool where you're going to build applications. It is built on Java. If you want to customize, you write Java, but 90% of the times you're not going to do any kind of customization. The higher the version of Pega, the more comfort you get. So it's like difference between your old Windows versions and new Windows versions. So the more the version, the more the comfort you have, right? Same is the case in case of Pega. So higher the version, the more comfort you get, the less the customization. Okay. And Pega is a product which is coming from the organization called as Pega Systems, like how Microsoft for Windows, same way. Okay, Pega is a product from Pega Systems organization. And Alan Tuffler is the CEO for this. He is a world champion of chess a few years back. One moment, I don't think I have that slide. Yeah, Alan Tuffler is the founder of Pega Systems, and he's a world champion of chess. He used to build some, computer games on chess, and then he slowly landed up with American Express, started building a product for them, and slowly this Pega came into the picture. Okay. And as I told you, the main motto of Pega is they want to automate the manual work. They don't want the developers to code. So it's basically, they want even a business user or a non-technical person to build a project. That's the goal. Okay. I mean, I'm completely not non-technical. I mean, like a person with very minute technical knowledge should be able to build a project. So that's their main goal. That's the reason the Pega is like more automated. Very less manual work you'll be doing, or very less coding you do. These are the various versions of Pega which existed. Okay, today you have 7.x and 8.x in the market. 6 and lower versions are retired now. And you see most of the companies using 7.x today, but everybody is migrating to 8. Okay. Now some people keep asking me, hey, there's only 7.x in the market, right? So if you teach me 8.x, will it be useful to me? Why don't you teach 7. Right, today they're using 7.x, but tomorrow they'll be migrating for sure. And when they migrate, they look for resources who know 8. So if it's like this, if you don't know 8, even if you migrate from 7 to 8, you will still do the same stuff in 8. You don't use any of the new features of 8. There were people when Pega was new in the market. How people used to use it? They used to take Pega tool, but they used to write complete Java code in it. They used to completely customize. Then what's the purpose of purchasing the tool with such a costly license? So that's how, if you don't know the tool, you buy it and you do only whatever you know. You don't use the new features in it. Okay, so it's very important to learn the new features of Pega 8, or you have to learn Pega 8 because maybe today they are on 7.x, but they will be migrating to 8 for sure by next year. And they look out for resources when recruiting who are aware of 8. If not, it should be updated in the market, right? In this IT, you should be updated, you should be up to the mark. So that's the reason you have to learn 8 and not 7.x. Okay, so this is the history of Pega. Oh yeah, yeah. Before I go with the full form of Pega and why Pega, I would like to tell you something about this. What type of applications are built on Pega? As I told you, we build web apps and mobile apps on Pega. So, can I build every application on Pega? Can I build Facebook? Can I build, like Amazon, Myntra, whatever? Can I build everything? Yeah, you can build everything. But every tool has a purpose. See, when you go for a reporting tool, like what's your purpose? You have a huge reporting in your project. So you go for reporting tools. When you go for machine learning, it's kind of something like a Google search, or they need some kind of machine learning. So check your purpose and now identify the right purpose of the tool. Similarly, Pega can be used to build everything or most of the things, but for what applications Pega is the right choice. So Pega is the right choice only for the organizations who have a streamlined business process, like banking, finance, healthcare. They have a streamlined business process. What do you mean by streamlined business process? They have a dedicated life cycle. For every transaction, they have a dedicated life cycle. Let's say, for example, let's take insurance. Um, Maybe a person met with an accident. Okay, now he wants to claim insurance for his vehicle as well as for himself. Now, what does he do? He will call the customer support team of the insurance company and he will say, hey, I want to claim my insurance. These are the details. Now, the CSR, the customer support representative, will take all the information. Okay, and he will start a case on your name. So this case or this complaint will have a life cycle. First, it will go and check what is your insurance, for what things you are eligible, for what things you are not eligible. Then it will go through a couple of approvals, okay, some verifications, and then maybe they may pay you the complete money, or they may say let's go with the copay co-ratio, like half ratio wise, something like that. And then finally they might approve, they might deny, anything can happen. So there's a dedicated life cycle every complaint will go through. Okay, so that's a streamlined business process. So Pega is usually used only for that kind of applications like insurance, banking. Now, when I say banking, see you log in into hdfc.com or citibank.com, you make a fund transfer, you request for a checkbook. No, not that for that type of applications. No, you don't use Pega. Again, even in banking, let's say for example, there was a fraud transaction which happened on my credit card, and I lost my card. Now I call the bank and I tell them, hey, this is what happened. Now take my complaint. There's a whole set of process involved. They talk to MasterCard, they talk to Visa, then they check with the vendor. They file a police case. Then they refund you a temporary fund. Then they get the chargeback from the vendors, and XYZ things will happen in the background. So that complete life cycle is involved, a streamlined life cycle. Only for such projects you use Pega. Now, when you see both my examples, you have seen that CSRs are involved. Customer service representatives are the actual people who are using Pega. So, which means that Pega projects are not usually internet applications. So you go to Google and you say something like, pega.com or pdn.com or something. No, no, they are not like that. So you are not the true end user of Pega. Okay, so you don't see them on the web like that. Most of the Pega applications are intranet. Within your organization, you will have that application, and your CSRs or your backend team will be using it. Similarly, finance. Every month people process salary for you, and they try to deposit the salary between 25th to 30th. There's a whole lot process involved in the backend, which they start from 10th of every month or 15th of every month. So they get your data from PeopleSoft, they get from Workday, they identify how many leaves you have kept, bonus, this, that, everything, and finally an output comes. That's your salary for that month. So there's a streamlined process, right, in order to credit your salary every month. So in such type of applications, people use Pega. So when you say finance, your payroll team is using it. So within the company, you will have some certain teams which will be using this application. So that way you're going to use Pega for building them. You're not going to build Pega for the True end users. Here the end users are the internal teams of your organization. They'll be using it because they drive your business, and there's a life cycle involved for every transaction, for everything. So such things we choose Pega. Okay, that's the right usage of Pega if you purchase Pega. Okay, so any questions still here, guys? Still here? You can unmute yourself and you can speak, or you can ping me in the chat. Okay, so yes, the training will be on 8.x, 8.2.1, I mean. Okay, if no more questions, let me go ahead. So this is the, yeah, I have some questions here. Is there a huge difference between 8.x and 7? Not a huge difference. There are enhancements. Every version you only have enhancements. So it's like, you used to do something, a manual effort in 7.x that gets automated in 8.x. Or you have some problems in 7.x, they are now fixed in 8.x. So always, guys, every version is just an enhancement. The core product remains the same. You get some new features added. That's it. What is the framework? Ramraju, I'm just parking this question because I haven't, gone till there, but I'll answer you towards the end of the session. Okay. Okay, parking your question. Let me write it down. I'll just, oh, 1 second. I'll take it up towards the end of your session. Now, yeah, let's talk about the full form of PRPC. So we just call it as Pega, but the full name is PRPC, Pega Rules Process Commander. So this is basically a combination of two entities, Pega Rules and Process Commander. Pega Rules means it's a rules engine. What's a rules engine? The place where you find out all the out-of-the-box rules, the functions, classes, methods, syntaxes, XYZ. So if you're using a tool, every tool will have a particular syntax. Let's say, for example, you're speaking in a language. Maybe you're speaking in English, Telugu, Hindi. You always have certain set of rules, grammar, syntax, things, right? Similarly, when you're using a tool, they'll obviously have some certain set of syntax, functions, methods, out-of-the-box things, right? That's Pega rules. It's a rules engine. So if you're using Pega, you have to, follow those things. You have to reuse them, and you have to develop the things. That's rules engine. Just like how your language has, alphabets, words, and syntaxes, same way. Process commander. This is the UI, or the layer where you go and build and deploy applications. So it's an interface, basically, where you build and deploy applications. And Pega is called as a BPM product as well as a BRE product. I'll talk about BPM and BRE. So process commander means, sorry, Pega rules process commander. Process commander was built as per BPM standards, so it's called as a BPM product. Pega rules was built as per BRE standard, so it's called as a BRE product. Now, what is BPM and BRE? Let's talk about that. BPM stands for Business Process Management. Look at the word business process management. So there is a business, its process is streamlined, and you want to manage it in a better way. Okay, so like this, like banking, finance, insurance, you want to manage their business, you want to streamline them. So BPM suggests you some guidelines, some set of instructions it will give you. So to manage your business, to streamline the business functionality. Okay, and I want to achieve more customer centricity, XYZ, a more efficient product performance should be good. So it gives you certain instructions. So if your tool was developed as per that instructions or guidelines, you call it as a BPM product. Pega was built as per that, so you call it as a BPM product. Now what happens in BPM? How are you streamlining it? In every BPM product, okay, we are completely driven by the workflows. Flow. You know flow diagrams, right? Flow diagram. So in every BPM product, we are completely driven by the workflows. So let's take Java or any technology or tool. How do you start building an application? You first write some piece of code, then this triggers some function, that in turn triggers another function, and so on and so on. And that's how the code keeps triggering each other functions and so on. That's not the case in Pega, or that's not the case in any BPM product. In every BPM product, we first develop a workflow. First, you'll develop a flow with a start shape, end shape, and in between decision shape, integrator shape, XYZ shapes you'll be placing in the flow. Once you're done with your flow, this flow represents the end-to-end life cycle of that particular business. Once you're done with the flow, then you start putting your code on each of the shapes, your screens on each of the shapes, your integrations on each of the shapes you will be placing. So the first thing is you build the flows. The flow is like the heart of the application. So when an end user is actually creating a case or raising a complaint, he is navigating on each and every shape in the flow. So when you create a complaint or a case, you're first on the first shape. Then you go to the second shape, then third shape, then fourth shape. So you're actually navigating as per the flow shapes. Okay. So we are completely driven by the workflows in a BPM product. That's how BPMs work. BPM products work. So other BPM products are like, IBM BPM, you have Savion, like you can say that Tipco, Cordis, Lombardi. There are many BPM products in the market. Okay, everyone is completely driven by the workflows. I'll show you the Pega portal and the workflows towards the end of the session. That's what is BPM. Okay, completely workflow driven. Going back to this. So that is Pega, which is a BPM product as well as a BRE product. Now, why Pega? Everybody might be asking why should I learn Pega? Why not some other technology or some other tool? Yeah, compare them. Okay, this is a BPM product. Maybe if you're willing to learn some other thing, it can be a ERP or some other tool. Okay, just compare and then you can decide. But if you ask me within the BPM products, why Pega? My answer is everybody's looking for an automation. So everyone, even in your daily life, do you want to get things done in a simple way without without much effort? Same way, the organizations think. I want to automate. I want the things to be done in shorter amount of time with less budget, more efficiently. So that's what Pega is doing. So a project which you have built on Java, if you build it on Pega, you can deliver it 8 times faster. That's what Pega system says. Okay, they say that a project in Pega can be delivered 8 times faster than Java based applications because everything is automated. That's the reason we are going for Pega. And in Pega, you do front end, means you build the user interfaces, you do back end, data tables and all these things, you do reporting, you do integrations, you do email configurations. Okay, there are many things. You have Agile Workbench within Pega as a built-in tool. You build unit test cases. Okay, there are many things that we do. It's like an integration of many things. Okay, so you get an opportunity to utilize all those features in Pega when compared to any other BPM tool. You have that opportunity. Okay? That's why we are using Pega. There are many features. It's automated. So we choose it. Just give me a second, guys. Okay, so it reduces the cost, it saves time and effort. You don't build projects from scratch. You need not be a core technical person. With the basic technical knowledge, you should be able to work on Pega, unlike other tools or technologies. Okay, easy to learn, and you have many built-in frameworks. Yes, somebody was asking me about a framework. You have many built-in frameworks. So what exactly is a framework? Framework is nothing but it's like a already readily available project. Okay, so you know, let's say for example, uh, uh, let's say there are like 10 banks using my product Pega. Just think I'm the owner of Pega. There are 10 banks using my product Pega. Now, I think I want to do something for my customers and I want to increase my market. So what I do is I try to identify all the commonalities between all these banks. Okay, how they're using Pega. I identify all the commonalities and I try to build a project and give them and say, hey, if you take my project, 80% of your work is done. The 20% of customization which each of you have or which each of you differ, you make it and your work is done. So that's a framework. So what Pega does is it will identify all the similar things in all the banking sector thing or all the insurance or all their customers, healthcare, banking, insurance, media and communication, government, transport. They try to identify in a specific division, healthcare division, identify all the commonalities, how they're using it. You build a project and give them. It's a one-time effort for you, but it saves time for multiple organizations for multiple projects. So if they buy your framework, 70 to 80% of your project is readily available. The less 20, 30 you customize and you deliver. That's it. So it saves a hell lot of time and you go for frameworks. So that's how people choose frameworks. There are certain set of frameworks available in the market. Based on your requirement, you have to check with Pega and see if it's really suitable for your needs. And you also have to check the cost and licensing and other stuff. And then you purchase frameworks and then you do the rest of the customization and you go live. Okay, so that's a framework, just a readily available project which can have most of the needs or satisfy most of your needs of your application. Okay, so that's why we choose Pega. Competitors of Pega, Appian, ServiceNow, IBM, BPM. These are the competitors. Okay, companies using Pega. Okay, these are the list of companies, and there are many, many, many other companies using Pega. So you have a hell lot of opportunities waiting for you guys then. Okay, and trust me, guys. Everybody asks me, "Oh, Pega is a tool. Do you think it'll last longer?" Or anyone when they want to learn something, Acha, it's a tool. There are many tools which came in the market and which vanished now. People don't even remember the names. So you do think Pega will last longer? Pega has been existing since 1980s. Even I was not born then. Okay, and it's still there in the market and it's going to be there as long as they keep updating. Just think about yourself. Will you exist in IT if you don't upgrade yourself? Don't if a fresher comes and he knows something better than you, will he be not recruited and promoted before you get promoted? Same is the case. If Pega doesn't upgrade itself as per the market needs, they will also vanish. Okay, but Pega is upgrading. If you see in the last few years, Pega has acquired many organizations. Now Pega has RPA, Pega has this cloud. Now Pega is trying to do IoT, so they are upgrading, guys. So it has life. So there's nothing to worry. Okay, I agree it's a tool, but they are upgrading. They are up to date in the market. Okay, so they are going to exist in the market for the next at least a decade. And one more thing, whenever you think of these things, also just think of the clients who are using this. So when a bank is using the Pega, or when some big organizations like bank, healthcare are using Pega, do you think they don't do all this background check when they're using a tool? So is it not a very big effort to migrate a project from one technology to another technology, one tool to another tool? So if they simply blindly go choose Pega and Pega vanishes in the next couple of years, how are they going to manage their business, which is completely being run by Pega tools today? Okay, so yes, people do all those things and look at the client base, then you can understand what is the market for Pega today. Okay, any questions still here, guys? Certifications, yes, I'm going to speak. Give me 2 minutes.
What is this?
Agile is a methodology. So when you develop a project, you follow certain methodologies, like how you want to build and deploy your applications. Okay, I'm not going to give you the complete thing about agile, but just a glimpse of it. Agile is a methodology to way to build and deploy applications. In this we have Scrum. Okay, so what we do is like you have a huge requirement, a big project. Okay, let's say for example you have to build Amazon.com. What do you start with? You start with a very minute thing, maybe first with a registration screen and then a login screen and then displaying products, and you do it. So when you have a big requirement, you break it into multiple features, then you break each feature into a story, then again story into tasks, and we start building them. So that's high level explanation for you. Okay, any other questions, guys? Should we write 8 certification?
Ma'am,
Yeah.
can you clearly explain this conundrum?
Which one?
In which one of people you taught to us?
I think two people are speaking. I'm not able to get. Can you ping me the question otherwise? Okay. Somebody has
Yeah.
asked me, should I write training? Should I write certification on 8? See, if still 7.x certifications are available, better go for 7. If not, you can go and why I'm asking to write on 7 is you can tell the recruiter that I have been working since 7.x version. So you can project that your experience is little, like since couple of years you're working. So if you have written on 8, it's good. You can just, that's okay. You can just tell them, yeah, I have written on 7 and today I have written on 8 to upgrade myself. But if you have like a certification in 7, it's a solid proof that you have been working since 7.x. So I don't know whether the 7.x certifications are retired or not. If they're still available, you can go ahead and write them. So how much experience should I be placing in my resume? I suggest 2.5 to 3 years, not more than that. Otherwise, the interview will have a huge expectation on you. So just place 2.5 to 3 years. Yes, 2+ you get opportunities on Pega. As a fresher, you may not receive anything, but 2+ you will receive.
For CSM, ma'am?
Guys, to get a job on Pega, you are supposed to write the certification. Without a certification, recruiter is not even consider your resume. Okay, so let me tell you about the certifications. The first level of certification is CSA, which stands for Certified System Architect. One second, let me put the slide. First one is CSA, Certified System Architect. So usually this certification is valid till you are like 4 years of experience. 3 to 3 years, 3 to 4 years is fine. 4+, we suggest you to write Senior System Architect. Okay. Then you have Lead System Architect, which is part 1 and part 2. This is for developers. Apart from that, if you're a business architect, you can do this. Data scientist, marketing. There are other certifications for other people, but these three are for developers. Oops. So CSA, it's valid like 3 to 4 years. You can sustain for CSA, but if you're looking for a promotion, of course you have to go with senior system architect to certification. Okay, these are the certifications for developers. First three: CSA, WSA, and LSA. Let me answer the other questions in the chat.
Nowadays, but even though if with the 2+ also the recruiters is not picking up the resumes.
Vasant, I don't think if you have a good resume and other things, so you should find it. Uh, you should find the opportunity. 2+ in the sense, just don't put 2.3, 2.4, just go for 2.8. 2.5+ is always. Any technology, 2.5+, you'll find more opportunities, not just Pega. Anything, 2.5+ is good. So just put 2.8, 2.9 and check out. You should be finding an opportunity. And they also check whether you have done certification or not. Guys, if you do certification, okay, pdn.pega.com is the official website of Pega. PDN. Okay, when if you search your first name and last name there, all your certifications will be visible. So maybe if you are not certified and you're just projecting it, recruiters check it and they don't give you a call. Okay, there are certain reasons why you may not get calls. A good resume, there are many things that matter, certifications and few things. I'll help you
And
out in the resume preparation. Mm-hmm.
I'm CWSA certified, ma'am.
CWSA?
Certified.
Okay, it's good. Then why? How much experience did you project in your resume?
I'm putting almost all 3.2 years of experience, but I'm not getting any calls.
Did you put overall experience as something else and Pega as 3.2? Or is your
Yeah,
overall?
yeah.
So what was that? What is the overall experience?
Is 8 plus, close to 9 years of experience.
And you have kept three and a half in Pega. It should be good. Can you just push me your resume? I'll just check and update you on that. Because
Sure.
I keep doing this. Recently, one of my people that person has kept 2.5 in Pega and overall experience was 7 years. So that guy got placed in TCS. TCS has a huge requirement for e-Pragati project in Vijayawada. So they're hiring actually. It's a very recent hire that happened. One of my students. Push it. I'll just check once and we can discuss on that. Okay. Okay. Let me answer the other questions. What is for freshers? No, Sonia. Pega is not at all going to hire a fresher. If you are a fresher of an old, past year pass outs, maybe if you're like a 2017 pass out, 18 pass out, you should put some certification saying that you worked in a startup or something. Okay, get some certification from a consultancy, show some experience on Pega, and that way you have to get in. If we write certifications yes and no, I mean in October 2013, how can we tell the interview that I have 3 years experience? If you're writing right now, you always have to tell that you have written in upgraded version. And maybe you can just tell that I wrote in Pega 6 earlier or have written in Pega 7 earlier. So that way you have to tell the recruiters. Okay. And one thing is certification is just a basic filter criteria. The rest, everything depends on the way you project yourself in the technical round. Okay, if you're very strong technically and if you're very good in answering your questions in the interview, certification is not a barrier for you. Okay? It's just an initial basic filter, so don't worry much about that. Can you tell me more on process commander with example? Yeah, I'll show you, Ravi. I'll show you how much experience we need to put in resume. As I told you, 2.5 and plus. Or should we write 8? I'm done. How important is the agile approach when implementing Pega? See, not every time you follow agile, you follow waterfall model as well sometimes. Okay, so but most of the times we follow agile, most of the times, because agile is like it's easy to build and deploy. The life cycle goes much easier, so that's why we follow. Like I can say like at least 70% of the projects fall agile. 70 to 80% of bigger projects fall agile. Okay, so that's the reason we even have this concept of rule sets and versioning in Pega. That's what it's built for agile methodology only. Mostly it's suitable for agile. But why are you so much and agile? It's nothing much. It's just like working on the stories. And agile is actually comfortable, sometimes because you have a dedicated plan. Okay, 2 weeks plan. It's usually in agile, it's like for 2 weeks we do development. I mean, like 2 weeks deployment thing. So first 1 week we complete the development. Second week they do testing and they push it to QA. So actually, it's comfortable. You have a small chunk of work to do, and every week you get a new piece of work. You go and do it. Agile is very comfortable to work on. Nothing to worry about agile and Pega.
Agile is not at all related to Pega, right?
It's not at all. It's a methodology. If any tool you're working on Java, .NET, something, it's just a methodology. The way you develop and deploy, you follow. It's not related to Pega. The way you work is, it has a methodology that's agile.
So it's a kind of the 2 weeks or 3 weeks plan you have provided, and end of the 2 weeks and or 3 weeks, what you are achieved and what you are not completed. That kind of the information only it will containing in Agile, right? The
Not
kind of the way to complete the entire project.
not exactly information. So agile is nothing but you have a large chunk of work, you break it into small pieces, and you do a 2 week development plan, and you keep deploying, and you keep uh, doing that, and you finally build that whole big chunk of work. So it's like small pieces you do deployment, you build and deploy. Okay, so I passed in 2007 and never worked in IT. So what do you suggest me? As you have a good amount of gap, you can go ahead and reach out a consultancy, or if you want, just WhatsApp me. I'll give you the details. Get some certificate as if you have worked in some XYZ company on Pega. You know, let me 1 second. Does a framework and methodic plan of questioning help when working with stakeholders? I did not exactly get your question. Do you mean that you mean like questioning stakeholders work? I exactly didn't get your question. Can you frame it again? So what do you mean? You mean like check questioning or exploring more options with the business work? Or what exactly it does mean? Yeah, see, in every, just like every project has the BA team, the development team, the admin team, the set of managers, the same way Pega works. So we as a developer, you always keep questioning the BAs. The BA reach out to the clients and get back the answers. So yes, you keep questioning them, and you also tell about the technical glitches or technical things, and you can do. That's like any other project, same way we work. So your working style remains just like any other project. You reach out to BA reach out to the clients. That's how you do. Did I answer your question, or am I not on the same page? Okay, okay, thank you. Okay, then let me take you to the PRPC portal. Why is my PPT not minimizing? Okay, 1 second. Oh, so after installing Pega, you'll actually find three icons on your desktop like this. The first one says startup, second one is login, third one is actually the names are too lengthy, so you're not finding them. It's like this: shutdown. Okay, startup, login, and shutdown. So startup and shutdown are to start your Tomcat server. It's a web-based application, right? So you have a server and a client. So you can choose any server, it's your choice. But by default, they give you Tomcat. Okay, so these two options are to start your servers and shut down your server. So every day when you want to work on your personal edition, first you have to click on startup. A prompt will come like this, okay, and you will find a message like server starts in some milliseconds. After that, you can click on login, and in your browser, the window will open like this. Once you're done with your work, click on shutdown. So you don't do this in real time, okay? Because the server machines are somewhere else. You don't do startups and shutdowns in your real time. Okay, so if in real time you will just have this URL to log in into your development portal or QA or whatever portal it is. You just hit the URL and you will be working on it. You don't do server things. Okay, but as in your personal edition, you will shut down once you're done with your work, and you will start up again when you want to work on it. I'm just logging into one small POC which is still in progress. Okay. This is the Pega login screen. Did you look at the icon of Pega? This is like the chess knight symbol. As I told you, Ellen, the founder of Pega, is a chess champion. So that's the reason the icon is like that. Yeah, system requirements, guys. I suggest 8 GB RAM. Okay, 4 is good, but 8 is much better because 4 GB you might face little slowness. Okay, so 8 is better. Windows 7 and above, 64-bit operating system, not 32-bit. 64-bit Windows. This is not going to work on Mac. So please make sure you hold Windows 7 and above 64-bit operating system and the 8 GB RAM. 4 is good, but it's low. Okay, so I suggest to have an 8 GB. And browser Chrome. Okay, don't open it in IE because IE is not completely supporting it. So choose Chrome or Firefox. Now this is called as Designer Studio. Now the place where all your talent is going to be implemented. Okay, the place where you're going to design your applications and show all your creativity here. Designer Studio. Okay, our portal, developers portal. Now you also have admin portal, manager portal, end user portal. So they vary. Okay, let me also show you those portals. Admin Studio, the place where they do all this admin work. There's some background jobs, listeners, XYZ configurations they do in the admin studio. This is purely for the admin team of Pega. Okay, it's different. It looks different. You don't have all the options that you see in the developer portal here. And then you have App Studio. For non-technical people like BAs and all, they use App Studio. They can only build workflows, for those kind of things. But in reality, actually, our BA team never builds the workflows and all these things. But if you have some non-technical team like that who can work, then you can choose the App Studio for them. This is how App Studio works. No, business analyst. BA means business analyst, the person who acts as a mediator between you and the client, who is going to gather the requirements and give it to you and take your inputs and get back to them. Okay. Similarly, if you would like to look at a manager portal, there's all these portals can be customized. Okay, I mean not the dev portal and all, but a manager portal. You're going to customize it as per your business requirement. You don't put this Pega video, Pega things and all this to an end user, right? So you're going to customize them. These are the default portals, default manager portal. Okay, he can see reports, he can see documents, his teams. Okay, there are many options, a dashboard with all the reports. There are many options like this. Similarly, end user portal. All these are going to be customized as per your business requirements. These are default portals only. Okay. So this is how usually these portals look. Now let me take you back to the Dev Studio. So this is Designer Studio, a place where you're going to build and deploy your applications. A quick navigation I'll give you. Recents, it's just like a history in your browser. Whatever you have opened very recently, you see them here, the rules which I have opened. Case types, I told you, right, in Pega or in any BPM tool, first we build the life cycle. So case type is nothing but the life cycle. I was just trying to implement banking, this fraud transaction life cycle. So let me show you how it looks. One second. Look at this. This is the life cycle. First, you create a new claim. Then it's enrichment. Enrichment is like getting the information from the Visa and the MasterCard networks. Provisional credit means you provide a temporary credit to the customer because he lost his amount. Chargeback, you get the amount from the vendor, you resolve it, or you go for there are like various things which I'll be explaining you when we do the application. So this is a life cycle. But I told you we'll be building flows, right? Yes, inside this you have the workflows. Let me open the workflow and show you how they look. This is how your workflow looks. There are many shapes available like this. Okay, there's so many shapes. You can use them and you can build your workflow. That's about case types, which we'll discuss in detail when your session starts. I'm just giving you an overview of the portal. Data types, the place where you find your data tables. Okay, a table to store data. You'll be finding them here, data types. Say I have some tables like bank funds, customer accounts, MasterCard transactions, something like that. App Explorer, the place where you find your classes, rules, and everything. So this App Explorer, there are rules here. Okay, user interface rules, technical rules, reporting. There are many rules like this. Records Explorer this is also completely full of rules. I'll explain you the difference once the sessions begin. Favorites, like how you bookmark a web page. Same way, you can bookmark a rule, you'll find it in the favorites. Agile Workbench. See, currently we are not using the Agile Workbench which is given here. We are using tools like Rally and those things. Okay, but Pega is trying to inculcate those features in the Pega tool itself. So they have given this Agile Workbench. You can create a feature, you can create a story, you can create a defect. Okay, and you can store them here. You can attach screenshots, you can attach videos, and you can work on them. So they have given this option: stories, bugs. Okay, you can do anything. But still people are using Rally and other tools like that. Current work is nothing but the current story which you're working on. Scenario testing is like unit test cases, creating unit test cases and executing them. Issues means if you are not developing as per the Pega standards, you might get some warnings and alerts. So you will find them in the issues. Tracer, Clipboard, Live UI are debugging tools in Pega. Accessibility is like if you have any rule accessibility issues, you will find them here. I'll explain you in detail when the sessions begin. Okay. Performance tools. Okay. Current version of Pega in details you will find here when you click on Pega. And then if you go to the top, here you can switch your studios. Here you can see your application, the skin and the rest of the information. Okay, here you can see all the wizards. There are many wizards, you can see them here. Other portals like manager portal, work portal, you can see here. In order to create a new case or a new work object, you use this create option, or a new rule, you use this option. Search bar to search your rules. Checkouts. If you're currently working on something and it's under your control, you'll find it under checkout. Some APIs and other help you'll find here. And this is development portal. You'll see the information here. Just a quick walkthrough of the portal. Apart from that, you see something called as guardrail warnings. So there are certain guardrails. What is a guardrail? Some best practices. Okay, Pega gives you some best practices. If you're not developing as per the best practices, you will see the warnings here. Okay, try to fix the guardrails. So the less the guardrails you have, the more efficient the application is. Okay, so this is a quick walkthrough of the portal. So you are going to work either on a health insurance project or this one, the banking fraud transaction detection application. So one project will be taught in the class. You will be doing in parallel with me in the session. And if you get any issues, I am going to jump into your screen and fix it. Apart from that, after a week or 10 days sessions, I will assign you another project. On daily basis, I'll be assigning you the tasks in WhatsApp. You'll be doing it and you can get back to me. So that way we are going to do 2 applications. I'll be sharing you interview questions and sample resumes, material and software. And daily recorded videos will be posted in a drive which you'll have access for 4 months. It's read-only access. Okay. So up after that, after 4 months, what if I want to study? What if I forgot a topic? Feel free to attend the current running batch for that specific topics. But it should be on the same version. Suppose you have learned on Pega 7 and now Pega 8 is going on. You can't attend that for, I mean, it's chargeable. If the version is different, it's chargeable. If the version is same, you can feel free to attend the class. Okay, somebody has a question to me here. What about the notes are for future reference? Yeah, I'm going to give the material, right? Didn't I mention that? Okay, I'm going to give you the material. You get all these PPTs. So, okay, these are the things you're going to get. All this will be shared with you. PPTs, PDFs, and few Word documents will be shared with you. Fee and duration, I think I have already WhatsApp the details. If not, I'll just ping you again. Duration is like 45 days. it might go to like 45 to plus or minus. I mean, it's always plus, it's never minus. It will go to close to, maybe more of one more week, 45 plus one more week sometimes, depending upon the implementation work we are doing. How can I do work on this tool? I'm going to share you the software. You're going to install it on your machines. Okay, and you're going to work on it. So you will install the tool like how you see in my machine. The same way you're going to install it and you're going to work on it. Difference between 7.x, Pega, and Fit into Dev Studios. I'll teach you once we start the sessions, because if I have to speak about difference, first you have to know what is there in 7.x. Then only I can tell you what came up in 8.x and what is the advantage of it. As everybody is completely new, I can't talk about the difference right now.
Basically, most of the companies using 7.x is the most very old
Right.
code is maintaining the 6, but no one is migrated to 8.
Right,
If you
Vasan.
are not
See, just think
see,
about,
then right?
just think like this. A year back, maybe you bought S8, okay, or maybe iPhone, iPhone 8 or something. Now again, next year, if they launch the next version of it, are you going to buy it? You don't buy it, right? But last year I have spent so much amount in buying this phone. Now they have launched a new model of this. I am not going to buy it. I'll use this for a couple of years and then I'll buy the next version. Same way, companies has invested a lot of amount in buying the license for that particular tool, and this Pega keeps on launching new versions. How can we buy a new one? And also just think how much effort I have to invest in, migrating the entire application. At least 6 months of time if the project is too big, like healthcare and insurance. We need at least 3 to 6 months of time in migrating the whole project. Again, after migrating, you might get multiple issues. The application may not be stable for a couple of months. There's a hell lot of effort. You already have so many requirements in pipeline, and again if you want to take up this upgradation work, it's thing. Okay, so it takes time, but people will migrate. We are forced to migrate. Why we are forced to migrate? Because if you get an issue and you tell Pega, hey, this is not working in your Pega 7, they say, hey, I have fixed it in Pega 8, you migrate to 8. Now we are not going to give you any support for 7. So that's how they reply back. So we'll be forced to migrate. Okay, by at least end of next year, they'll migrate. Okay, so no problem. If I have already installed 8, would I need to have a separate link or access? No, if you already have 8.2.1, then we are good. But even if the patch version is different, I request you to uninstall the existing one and install my version, because couple of options may differ on my screen and your screen, and it will be very difficult for you to while practicing. So because here the option is different and on your screen it may be at a different place. And then again, I have to get into your screen and explore every day. So I better suggest let's all have the same version to be in sync. From when the batch is going to start, most probably in a week from now, because everybody is very busy with the Dasra vacation. From a week from now, we are going to start. So the sessions would usually be like 45 to 55 days. Okay. And it's weekly 5 days. I usually take up Wednesday to Sunday. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and Monday and Tuesday is an off. Okay. So the timings differ. Wednesday to Friday, it's morning 7 to 8:30. Saturdays and Sundays, I need to confirm based on the people from various time zones. Usually it's 9 to 11. Maybe if it's too late for someone, I have to start at 8 o'clock. So Saturday and Sunday I'll update you, but this is what right now the timings are. Okay, course content, yes. I have shared it with everyone. If not, I'll just share it with you. Give me a second. I'll open that here itself. Let me pause my screen.